folks, good morning once again to WHY Morning News broadcast. I have some very grim news this morning. I'm sorry to say that this will be our last televised broadcast.
That's true enough. All my hard work and dedication has finally paid off. A network talent scout saw our last broadcast and has asked me to interview, and I'm going to be the lead anchor for their national syndicate. I can hardly believe it!
I know. I never thought you were that good at reading the news. But that just goes to show how a little hard work can get you noticed. Kind of like our next story about dedicated community effort. With our Eye on the Community report, we go to our reporter in the field, Peppermint Patty. Peppermint?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Ashley, and she's going to tell us how she pays for school. She has about 5,000 jobs. Hi, Ashley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Alright, well, my name is Ashley. I am a sophomore at Grand Valley. I'm 20 years old, and my major is nursing.
So can you tell us a little bit about how old you were when you first decided that you wanted to go to college?
Well, honestly, I never thought about going to college. I just always assumed that I would. Just because it was just normal. Everyone, like, where I was from, like, everyone just went to college. My parents went to college, so I never really thought about it, I guess.
Did you ever worry about how you're going to pay for school?
Yeah, I did, because my parents were always like, I want to teach you responsibility and we're not going to pay for anything for you. And the thing about that is that I don't get a lot of financial aid because my parents make a decent amount of money, so I don't get a lot of financial aid, but I still have to pay it all for myself. But I just always figured that it's not a big deal to take out a loan because a lot of people do, and if I work hard and if I get a jobs, which I already had some and I've been saving up, then I should be okay.
So what are you doing right now to pay for school?
Well, I have 3 jobs. Yeah. They're not that bad. Like, I work at Applebee's, a restaurant, and I love it because I love talking with people and working with people, and there you get a lot of people interaction. And I also work at the mall and in retail, and that's a good job because you get to talk to people again, and you just get to use your people skills, which is good for, like, a nursing major. And I also clean offices once a week.
How do you feel they have prepared you for the real world or kind of helped you throughout college?
I would say that they teach me to be very hard working because it helps me to organize my life. Because I know that I have to go to work, so I know I have to do my homework at this certain time, whereas like maybe if I didn't have a job, that I would just be like, oh, I have all day, and then just not do it. So it helps me to do that, and also like I said before, I work with people, a lot of people, so I think that helps me. I see a wide variety of people, not just like the students here at Grand Valley.
So since you work so much, I know you said that you kind of have to plan when you do your homework. Do you have any other tips for studying?
I would say, yeah, just make sure you plan out your day. Like, be organized, and it also depends on like your major and the demands of your major. Like, some majors, they're all equally hard, I think, but some majors have more homework and more studying incorporated in that. But I would say just like make sure that you plan out your day. Make sure you do have some free time because that's important, otherwise you go crazy. I can account for that. But also just make sure that you don't spend too much time doing nothing, but just organization is a huge thing, and make sure you have time for friends too, and like to do things that you like to do, and sleep, of course.
So Ashley, what kind of jobs are out there for these Burton Middle School kids when they get to college?
There's a lot of jobs out there, actually. You can work at the mall, you can work in food service, like waitressing or something like that, or even there's a lot of jobs that you can get on campus. There's a lot of jobs out there. A lot of people think that it's hard to get a job, which sometimes it is, but there's a lot of like minimum wage jobs out there, and a lot of people don't want to settle for that, but it's a lot better than nothing, and it helps you work your way up, like, because you will eventually. So I think that there's a lot of things out there. So.
How can you go about finding a job while you're in college? Do you use the internet, phone book? What type of thing do you look for? Where would you go?
Well, what I did was I just kind of looked at all the businesses and stuff around school, and then I just kind of went in and like applied to most of them. Also, there's a lot of jobs on campus, like you can work at the gym or like in the food like area, like cafeteria, whatever you call it, or there's a lot of like departments you can work in. I have a lot of friends that work in like the psychology department, the science department, like every department, like Spanish department, anything. So you just kind of, and there's like a work study program where you get paid to work, so you get your money for your tuition if you just work somewhere on campus. So there's a lot of opportunities.
So what types of things do you think employers look for in someone who's looking for a job?
I think that employers definitely look for a positive attitude. Come in smiling when you're trying to get a job. Act like you actually want to be there, not just like, oh, I need a job. Like, act like you actually want the job. When you go to your job, go to the job and do it to the best of your ability. Put everything aside, and then that way you can go home and not think about your job. So just make sure you just put your best effort everywhere to it. Don't show up too late to work or ask for a million days off, because that just kind of looks bad, that you don't want to work. So I think they just want to look for a hardworking, positive attitude person.
Sounds great. Ashley, do you have any other advice to give the students at Burton Middle School?
Well, I think that they should just all keep the attitude of anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Just make sure you know how to schedule your life. You might not have to get a job yet. I'm sure you're not all very old yet, but you can maybe just start scheduling your life with sports. Even I'm sure everyone does that. You have school or practice after school, so just you're already maintaining a schedule, sports and then homework and then sleep. Just make sure you keep that balance, and then once you get a little older, through high school, you can get a job, or even if you're really involved in sports and get involved in school, extracurricular things, and involved with people, and just make sure you know how to manage your time and keep a positive attitude all throughout it, and just make sure you don't get too stressed out, and just keep your mind to it. You can go to college if you want to, and don't let anything be an issue. Just anything is possible. So
Thanks, Ashley.
Yep, no problem.
Back to y'all in the studio.
With our last broadcast as anchors, we want to remind you, while A's and B's pay for degrees, the ultimate payment factor is how hard you are willing to work.